they are almost a little more free with the waviness. They literally can do anything. I could literally roll these up like a freaking taco and carry it around. What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another Sunday vlog. Although, this is not really a vlog. I'm kind of gonna get right into it because I had a lot of questions after the fashion vlog about shoes. And I figured that would be a good time to talk about workout shoes specifically. And just to be fully transparent with you, this idea came before I did an advertisement with the company that's going to come in at number one. And the reason why I chose to do an advertisement with them, not for this video, but on Instagram, was because I believe so organically in their purpose and just kind of science and yada, yada, yada. But we'll talk about that when we get there and kind of some reasons why and like what should go into your workout shoes. And I'm just going to take 5 to 10 minutes of your time, if you don't mind, talking about my top 3 workout shoes. And before we get into it, I want to give you a little update here on the vlogs. My sauna is here. So Garage Makeover Part 2 will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. And then this Saturday, I am filming the 40,000 calorie challenge. So that will be out the following weekend, or vice versa between the sauna. We're gonna figure that out, but it's gonna be, I'm gonna try to provide some value to it. It's not just gonna be me stuffing my face. But without further ado, let's get into my top 3 workout shoes and why. And before we do that, don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're the first one to get my videos. Let's get into it. So I think we should start from a place of my philosophy on shoes and our feet. And I want you to think back to the times that, like the primal times, right? We didn't have shoes. One of the first things that people started to figure out was using skins as shoes to protect our feet. However, over time, our feet have slowly, it's just become normal to cram our feet into these small little spaces. And our toes are all weird, and it essentially creates overcompensation in different areas of our body because our feet and what's connecting to the ground and the idea of earthing and grounding just completely gets lost because we have rubber soles on as well. So that leads me to my next topic, in the sense that whatever shoes you're wearing to work out in might be a lot different than what you're running in. When you're running, you're probably going to want something with a little bit more of a roll, a little bit more of a toe strike rather than heel to toe strike. And we could do a whole new video on that as well because I'm super into that. But when it comes to working out, my philosophy is this. When you work out, you're trying to move force away from you. You're trying to use the resistance to your benefit, right? The resistance is going to help you get stronger, faster, quicker, everything, etc. And the biggest force in the world is gravity. It's like what, 9.8 meters per second, whatever the physics goes into it. But where does gravity go? It goes straight into the ground. So all of the biggest force is on the ground. So why would we not want to use that, especially when we're working out, right? So without nerding out on you too much, the idea of a platform shoe when you work out. So anything that doesn't really have much flex. There's all kinds of Vans, Converse, Vivos, Metcons, Nike. Nike has some, Reebok has some really good ones. All these like CrossFit shoes, those are platform shoes. But I'm gonna get into my top 3 right about now. But I also want to talk about grounding really quick. Another thing on grounding is the idea that grounding literally can improve inflammation or reduce inflammation. It can improve motor neuron activity to your brain. It can improve cell and tissue repair. All these crazy benefits. Improve your sleep. There's all kinds of studies on this with connecting with the earth. The earth is, I believe, the only positive charge. It's full of electrical charges, but I think it's the only positive or the only negative. Don't quote me on that. But whatever it is, everything else is a negative charge or a positive charge. So that connection is literally changing our physiology when we can be barefoot to the ground and ground together. So I've talked way too much. I said it was going to be 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to run through my top 3, starting with number 3. So I'm going to slide a little bit to the side for number 3 and put it right here. But this number 3, I don't actually have a pair. I've used them one time and they were quite comfy, quite supportive, quite great. They are the Nike Free Metcons, Nike Metcon Frees. So the reason why I like this shoe is because the Metcon kind of technology gives you that one with the ground force, and you're able to use that ground to your advantage, right? The free aspect and the technology of it gives you a little bit more flex. I don't tend to love a lot of flex, but if you think from a natural way our foot moves, it needs a little bit of flex, especially depending on your arc. So without going into too much detail, because I really have only had a little bit of experience, but I really loved them when I tried them, it is the Nike Metcon Frees right here. Coming in at number 2, I have a mighty fine selection of shoes right here. They are all the exact same shoe. They're all kind of beat up. The high top, classic Chucks. Converse, Chuck Taylors. These are and were my all-time favorite training shoe. If you've been following me for a long time, you know, especially these 2 pairs, I was wearing these every single day. Now, why are these a top shoe for me? Well, number 1, they're very thin right here, so you don't really have much, but you have a little support at the top of the ankle. Now, the ankle support is really not that big of an idea for me to use to our benefit when it comes to training, especially because I believe in ankle mobility, but it does give you a little bit more support and feel, especially when you're doing those heavier lifts. So, next thing would be the strict rubber shoe. So, the rubber sole. There's nothing to it. There's no indentions, there's no weirdness. It's strictly going to be flat on the ground. And another probably close to this would be a Vans, like any type of Vans shoes, the skateboarding shoe, because it's so flat to the ground. I used to wear those all the time. That would probably come in at number 4. However, these Converse, they're also kind of stylish, like you can, right? So you see people wearing these all the time, and a lot of people think it's just for style, but there's actually a mindset and a theory around wearing shoes like this to the gym. So I know another company called Nobull, N-O-B-U-L-L, that has something similar. They have one that's a low top as well. Obviously Converse carries the low top as well. So that's another good, cheap option. I think they're like $60 a piece. So that would come in at number 2. It's really just from the overall durability. I think I've had these things for at least 2 years, every single pair, and they just don't get old. And they're just easy to connect with the ground. Use that ground as the force. That's really the biggest thing for me, especially when it comes to lifting heavy and getting the most bang for our buck with the compound movements for our total body. So that's number 2. Let's mosey on over to number 1. And coming in at number 1, numero uno, my favorite new number 1 is the Vivo Barefoot shoe. Now, as I said, this is the company that I did a sponsored ad on Instagram for and provided a lot of detail in the caption as to why. And I think I've kind of covered that in this video, but I had this pair for probably, gosh, I'm going on a year and a half now, and I loved this pair. This is the Primus Light 3. And as you can see, and you can hear, they're literally a barefoot shoe. So you can like twist these things all around, literally anything. They're made out of recyclable materials. And again, this is not an advertisement. I'm not getting paid. These are just genuinely the shoes that I'll probably wear to work out the rest of my life. Because of that barefoot ideology, right? Again, but these were not my favorites. I loved them, but still not my favorite because I got a new pair, which is this pair that I'm gonna talk about in just 1 second. And you're probably gonna see with the overlaid clips. So this pair is a little bit more supportive, honestly, with this kind of, it's not plastic, but more of like, I don't even know what material, rubber-ish material. They're super lightweight, like I feel like a feather. But to me, it wasn't as mobile. So I loved them, I've still used them. They're still would rank #1 for me. But this new shoe that just came out is the Primus Light Knit. So it's the exact same shoe, as you can tell, the same thing. A little bit different kind of structure, but these are knit. And the knit, I put those in there to keep the shape, but obviously you can tell, whatever. The knit is more of a cloth, like mesh material. And the same idea, they are almost a little more free with the waviness. They literally can do anything. I could literally roll these up like a freaking taco and carry it around, right? Like, talk about good marketing, by the way. Throw these things in your backpack and they're just super easy. Oh, well, no. Jeez. So anyways, these are definitely #1. As far as, like, you can tell with the squishiness, this little pattern down here is very minimal because it does imply the barefoot life, right? So these little edges are designed to give you pretty much any range of motion that you want. They're super versatile. Walking, now I will say they do take a little bit getting used to. Just if you don't walk barefoot and you buy a pair of these, you're gonna feel like you're walking barefoot, and that's the whole idea, right? You're connecting and grounding, and essentially it's giving you all of those benefits that I talked about in the beginning of the video and why I'm so passionate about it throughout daily life, right? Like these, they sell these obviously to work out in, and they also sell like casual shoes. So I'm on board with this brand as a whole, and I think that's something that fires me up too, just taking on advertisements that I'm super passionate about and organic too. But again, I have to reiterate, this is not sponsored, and I just wanted to put out some good value for you if you're looking for new shoes, whatever, especially in the gym, because there is a difference in wearing something that's great for working out as opposed to like wearing a running shoe when you're working out. Think about a running shoe, how cushiony they are. Those are supposed to spring when you run, not stabilize when you're lifting heavy weights. If I'm lifting 315 pounds with a running shoe, chances are my ankle is going to be doing this, right? That's not good. We're not using the ground near as much, and other parts of our body they're overcompensating, right? So the more that we can use our feet on the ground with that energy is going to be the more beneficial way to go. So honestly, if you wanted a true #1, it would be just take your shoes off in general and go barefoot. You see a lot of guys do that, or guys and girls, when they deadlift, squat, or something, they're using that force, right? But if you don't want to do that, I don't want to take my shoes off in the gym, then I just go with a barefoot shoe. So Primus Light Knits #1. That is all I've got for you in this little review. I know it wasn't a vlog, and Sundays are usually vlog days, but I wanted to put some kind of value out because I had that question pop up a lot. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope there's something that you maybe learned or took away from the video. I just feel like I was rambling on to the camera for 15 or 20 minutes or however long it took, because it was not 5 to 10 minutes. But with that said, we'll wrap it up right now. I appreciate you watching. Let me know which one you would wear, which one you might like to try out, and maybe I'll give a pair of these away now that I'm know those people. But without further ado, don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. I will talk to you soon. I'll see you on Wednesday for another Workout Wednesday. Have an awesome freaking day, and don't forget to smile.